Hello and welcome to ByteSized JavaScript, where we chew on manageable chunks of code. Today we're going to be talking about recursion. Recursion is one of those things you see a lot when you're learning about JavaScript. The question is, do you understand what it is? If you don't, I'm going to give two examples that will hopefully clear it up. If you do, check out my examples anyways. I'm sure you have some further insight that you can share. But enough about that. Let's get going. What is recursion? Recursion is simply a function calling itself over and over again, and it will call itself until one of two things happens. Either we reach the call stack limit, or we reach our defined exit value. Let's start with a simple example. The goal of our function is to increment a number until we reach a limit and then stop. So let's write a function, call it incrementer. We're going to be passing in our ceiling, and then we're going to pass in a total value, which we're going to initialize at 0. And then all we're going to do is increment total, and then we're going to return the function, and we're going to pass in the ceiling again, and we're going to pass in the total. Now let's run this function. We want it to go up to 10, and we'll start our total with 0. However, if we run it, maximum call stack size exceeded. That, of course, is because it's just running this over and over and over and over and over again. Eventually, JavaScript says, maybe you didn't mean to do that, and it stops it. Let's help out our function here and put a little if statement. If total is equal to the ceiling, return total. And as you can see, we get 10. Let's say we want to find out what is the total of all the squared values up to a given value, or in math terms, 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared on forward to n squared. To solve this, we can write a function that will do the following. Check if we have reached our limiter, square the value, add it to the total, decrement the limiter, return to step 1, and repeat. So let's write out our function. I'm going to call it get some squares. We're going to pass in a ceiling, and again, we're going to pass in a total, and we're going to set it to 0 initially. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to check to see if we have reached our ceiling. And if we have, we're just going to return total. Next, we're going to square the value and add it to the total. Next, we're going to decrement the limiter and return to step 1. So let's return our function. We're going to reduce the ceiling by 1 and then return the total. Now, if we call our function get some squares, you'll see that we get the answer that we were looking for. Hopefully that clears things up a bit. This is only the surface of what you can do with recursion. I've included some links below that'll provide some more detail. If you've got ideas for more JavaScript topics that you'd like to discuss, shoot me a comment below. As always, happy coding.